Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. But before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys could hit that like button. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course you guys already know that I do greatly appreciate that. Now, with everything that has been happening over the past couple days, today we've seen a massive capitulation event on Bitcoin and basically throughout this entire market. As everyone was panicking a little bit, I actually ended up buying some crypto today because it was something that I looked at as a massive opportunity, comparing it back to even March of 2020 and even the summertime of 2021. Now, with this in mind, let's talk about a few things. We're going to be addressing some charts, and then we will jump on into the overall content. So, on the 24-hour span, we do see a lot of altcoins kind of, in the red. I mean, when we say kind of, I mean, we were seeing a ton of, red throughout this entire market. Some incredible opportunities. I mean, we're looking at like Zilliqa under, almost 7 cents. Absolutely insane. There's a few other ones as well, as you guys do see as we do kind of scroll down the list. It's pretty insane, but I'm even eyeing like the graph at almost 30 cents, for an example, or like XDC at like almost 6 cents, which we've seen better buys, but some altcoins are down massively. HBAR down 22% on the 7-day span. It's insane when you look at the overall opportunity in this market right now. And I know a lot of people are scared, concerned. That's the best time to buy. I just said this yesterday, actually. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if we seen a massive capitulation event over the weekend where we will see massive fear, really kind of spewing throughout this entire market. And at that point in time, that's when you really want to, reevaluate, where you are financially, see if you could afford to, put in some money that you can afford to also lose, because, hey, this market can do anything at any time. So always invest, intelligently. But again, if you can afford to put the money in on the lows when we do see, clear support building, then go ahead. But, I've always said do not trade the weekends. Mondays is always a good time to reassess the overall market. But when we did recently see the dollar kind of start to turn, into a red sort of position, that's when I said, this market is going to be doing something fairly interesting. And that interesting, thing that it's about to do, if we go to the weekly chart here, is something like that March of 2020 time frame yet again. And we even seen this back in 2017 as well. Now, a lot of people are still calling for the dollar to like 120, 100 and like, 30. I've been seeing some crazy numbers being thrown out there. I really don't believe that we outstretched beyond the 1618. And we will most likely see this strong reversal very soon. I mean, on the weekly, you could clearly see this overstretched, and I would say that this is most likely going to do that 180, this week coming up. So I'm going to be watching this chart specifically very closely as we do range into the new week. In terms of XRP, for those individuals out there that have been a little bit concerned on where we were headed on this drop, yesterday I made a video and I was telling you guys to watch this level closely, which was roughly at about 58.5 cents. Now, mind you, why was this an important area to look at? Well, that was the support zone going back to the summertime. Also, we retested perfectly the 200-day EMA. We've tested this level before. In fact, the only time that we truly broke down below this was during the SEC lawsuit. And we traded below it, in the past during a bear market, but once we did have this, really broken out of, we didn't break down below it until we were in the bear market. And we have not broken down below this yet, which tells me XRP is still holding these levels fairly strong. Now, could we break down below this level? Yeah, we could. We could have something like a quick dip that we did see back in the 2020 timeframe during the SEC lawsuit. But I foresee us actually holding this level. I think that when we talk about this current market, this is that massive shakeout event. They want you out. And I've said this multiple times. Do not fear the markets, especially at these times. You want to reevaluate the overall chart. Look where support is. See where we are, really, I would say hanging out at, because we have been hanging around support for a very long time, even in terms of Bitcoin and the total too. Now let's talk about things happening around Ripple. So shout out to Crypto Airy for this, but we did hear, something big going down in Toronto. 4 new Ripple jobs posted, dripping in liquidity. A vision of massive scale with world-class machine learning liquidity engine, delivering optimal liquidity for every customer in the world in a cost-effective, robust, and scalable manner. Guys, you need to understand the amount of value that Ripple is going to settle in terms of utilizing XRP's potential and power. I've said it multiple times. Pay attention to not only the fundamentals behind the project, but also its usability. And when I say usability, you got to look at what it's actually being utilized for already. Because Ripple with XRP, has been utilized many times over in just the past decade alone since its inception. So again, pay attention to these projects that have legitimate use cases and are being legitimately utilized on a day-to-day basis. Now, also, we did see this. Now, this is actually a video from 2017, but this was pretty interesting. This isn't from 2017. This is from April 28th. Sorry about that, but we do see here Ripple has partnered with several central banks around the world. Some we've announced. We haven't yet announced. This is Brad Garlinghouse. Listen closely to this. This is actually pretty interesting. I'm going to play it so that you guys could actually hear it. So here we have it.
At this is Ripple's really trying to solve that cross-border payments problem. Central bank digital currencies are domestic by nature. They're issued by a central bank or potentially issued by a central bank. So they're not really solving cross-border problems. They're solving domestic solutions more often than not. So look, I think that what we're seeing happen with stablecoins, we're seeing happening with central bank issued digital assets, I think is exciting. I'm not exactly clear how it's all going to play out. You're seeing countries experiment and test. Ripple has partnered with several central banks around the world. Some we've announced, some we haven't yet announced, that they're issuing and testing using the XRP ledger to issue their digital assets on the XRP ledger.
I also love the fact that he's saying, that they haven't yet announced as well. And he's also mentioning the fact that you're utilizing the XRP ledger for private issuance of their central bank digital currencies in terms of test and pilots, which is also very significant.
As a token. So we're excited to be working with them. And look, at our core, Ripple's really good at working with enterprise customers. A government is just a big enterprise customer. We know how to sell to.
That's an interesting notion.
In some ways, it's just a really big enterprise customer. And we're pretty good at that now because we've had a lot of experience with it and worked with some of the largest banks in the world, as well as a lot of the smaller payment companies that have grown very quickly using our technology. It's helped them grow more quickly.
And he's also mentioned basically how, they have learned to work with these large enterprise companies, and essentially to them, a government is just a large enterprise company. So they are positioned perfectly to disrupt the CBDC area. Of course, they have, their thoughts about this. They say, we don't know exactly how this is going to be working, but they are already partnered with several central banks around the world that they also have announced but also haven't yet announced, which I'm very excited to see this come to fruition. I'm excited to see which ones they are actually going to announce as well. Now, also, I do want to talk to you guys about something significant around Ripple and XRP. Let's move on and let's talk about this. So here we have from Linda P. Jones. Now, shout out to Linda P. Jones because I'm going to be utilizing 2 of her tweets. But we just hear, here's the problem and a date, May 4th. If Moody's determines Russia is in default of the debt, then it will cause a tsunami of credit market defaults. Once the debt is cleared, an asset-backed currency will replace fiat currencies. Now, again, I'm not going to speculate too much on this because we don't have clear, confirmation that XRP will be utilized as that, asset-backed currency, basically replacing fiat currencies. Is it possible? Yes, it is. And, when we talk about this, I do believe that it's most likely going to be some sort of stablecoin or CBDC that is going to be issued on a DLT, aka a private ledger. But I don't believe that's going to just be one cryptocurrency. I mean, it could be. I can be wrong. I'm just not going to speculate too much and give you guys that hope. But as we do kind of look at this, there is one more tweet from Linda that I did find very interesting because it actually correlates with an article from 2020, I believe, and we're going to be addressing this. So First off, we do, sir. Gosh, I wonder why Brad Garlinghouse said the Commodities Futures Trading Commission would be the most appropriate crypto regulator. Maybe ISO 222 cryptos will be given the value by gold, silver, copper, palladium, and iridium. Now, when we look at this is asset-backed digital currencies. Now, a lot of people think that a CBDC will essentially be backed by gold. I mean, it is possible. It could be something of that sort. It still, delivers that, efficiency of it being, deflationary. Now, when we look at this, you guys can see this breakdown here overall. This is actually a tweet from, I'm not even going to try to pronounce their name. You guys can go check them out on Twitter. They actually have a lot of these schematics, especially around like Quant, XDC, etc. But you can see exactly how this would play out. You can see from the breakdown from fiat all the way through gold, etc., even DLTs and things like that. But this was the thing that really kind of interested me more. So we look at XRP, and a lot of people have been calling it digital gold for a very long time. In fact, a lot of people have addressed the idea on even XLM being silver, XDC copper, Algo, and IOTA, etc., being their, again, asset-backed digital currencies, if you will. Now, in terms of XDC being, digital gold, the funny thing about this is it takes me back in time a little bit. And the reason why is because we go back to February of 2020. Now, this is coming from Cointelegraph. Digital gold label shifts as XRP correlation to gold outpaces Bitcoin. Now, I'm not going to say, XRP was targeted because of the Ethereum and Bitcoin maxis or anything like that. Of course, we've talked about this, we've addressed it. But when we talk about digital gold, does XRP deserve that title? In my opinion, XRP could be, a digital escape from the current, liquidity crises that happen on a day-to-day basis. And when we talk about, mass liquidity crises, we kind of go back to 2008's, crisis. XRP could solve a lot of that liquidity problem areas, especially in terms of on-demand liquidity. When we talk about digital gold, for XRP to actually have that digital gold label, it basically just has to correlate with gold's value in general. But also, when we look at things like this, we actually see XRP, and this is with stablecoins, IMF. Now, the IMF did label Ripple and Stellar as stablecoins in their document. Now, we do see XRP 1-to-1 for every ounce of gold. The funny thing about this is that when we look at this article and we kind of read on, we can kind of see exactly where things were at this time in the market. But we could also see exactly where XRP and Bitcoin were in terms of their correlation to gold. We do see here one of those assumptions is the belief that Bitcoin is closely connected to gold. Everybody has been calling Bitcoin digital gold for a very long time. I'm sure that you are all aware of this. But when we come down here and we do see, cryptocurrencies in the precious metals narrative, we do see here the lack of a significant relationship between Bitcoin returns and gold returns, as well as the low correlations across the years, are contributing to the challenge to the narrative. The same can be said about the association between Litecoin and digital silver. If you guys don't know, Litecoin has been, called digital silver for a while as well. But we do see down here the correlation between top 10 cryptocurrencies and gold. So we do see here, we unexpectedly found that XRP, rather than Bitcoin, has the strongest correlation to gold. XRP is correlated at 34.1%, while Bitcoin is correlated at 21.5%. Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash share a very similar correlation to gold as Bitcoin does, with 20.1% and 19% respectively. The funny thing about all of this, right, is that I'm sure Ethereum now correlates to gold a lot more now than it did back in 2020, which of course we do know why. But when we look at this, I don't believe that it's just a correlation between digital gold or gold and XRP to have that digital gold label. In fact, to have that digital gold label, it would just be 1-to-1 in terms of the ounce per gold. And when we look at this, we kind of compare and contrast what is actually happening behind the scenes, and it is more so specifically correlated between, where is XRP going to be positioned at in terms of, on-demand liquidity and settling payments around the world. We do see a price of a cryptocurrency or token is pegged to a commodity, i.e. dollar metals assets. Approved, Stellar XLM and Ripple XRP IMF. Basel III plus 4 international regulatory accord that introduced a set of reforms designed to mitigate risk within the international banking sector by requiring banks to maintain certain leverage ratios and keep certain levels of reserve capital on hand, Tier 1 asset clarity, and market liquidity management. And we do see here agnostic exchange token for institutional value and bulk settlement. This is where we kind of look at the price per XRP and where it would be the most efficient in terms of settlement, in terms of bulk and large value payments. This is where things get interesting, and this is where I could foresee XRP actually being digital gold in terms of its actual value. Everybody thinks and laughs at stablecoin, prices, thinking that it has to be pegged to one specific dollar figure amount. Like, for an example, if we come over to, the cryptocurrency breakdown over here on CMC, you can kind of see like Tether is, pegged to $1, USDC $1. But a stablecoin, if it is pegged to just the US dollar, yes, it would have to be at least like a rough $1 figure amount. But if something is digital gold in terms of even ounces, the price is significantly different. Now, again, is this a little bit of speculation? Sure, it is, but if you actually kind of look at the value that XRP actually unlocks with RippleNet, I foresee XRP's value being far greater than most individuals actually perceive. And I've said this multiple times when we look at XRP at, for an example, like $100 or even $500. Is it going to happen overnight? Absolutely not. But when we do see it happen, I foresee it happening at least by around like the 2030 time frame. And it could happen sooner than later, of course, but I'm not going to speculate on a specific date. But as we do see things moving forward very fast in terms of ISO 20022, and of course the digital landscape changing the overall legacy system currently, I definitely foresee XRP being positioned very well in this market to actually disrupt trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in terms of not only cross-border payments, nostril-vostro accounts, but also the value that XRP holds within the XRP ledger itself. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.